And Max, if you want to harp on something that happened years ago, are you kidding me? Can you count the rings on his fingers?
How many Finals MVPs?
KD doesn't even get a championship without Steph Curry.
I agree.
He doesn't get a championship.
Nevertheless, 0 Finals MVPs. He's played in 4 straight.
Because the people that rank MVP do not attribute points. It's not just the points, it's the assists, and it's the little things.
How about the defense?
Max, I'm glad you held out to the end of your take the surprise appearance of Kawhi Leonard as your MVP pick, because I sat on the edge of my seat the entire time wondering if you'd land on Fred VanVleet or Pascal Siakam. I just didn't know which way you'd go here. And Ryan, okay, let's start with this. You disagree with me without knowing my take. Interesting proposition for you to take. Your analysis, by the way, the idea that Max and I can't know what we're talking about because we didn't play the game. Well, you know, the truth is the only way to beat you in a debate then is to bring out somebody better than you, and we can line them up outside the door. Every guy that ever schooled you. Let's start with Goran Dragic. We'll get him in here, and we'll get every guy that's ever beat you on the court, and they win the debate with you.
How about I get you in a headlock, Will Cain?
Wait, Will, that's not fair. This man played up to 12 seconds at a time in the NBA. You know, due respect.
Yeah. Come on, 2 left feet.
I have no doubt that Ryan Hollins could school me in a game of one-on-one. But this right here, this is a game of stringing together.
I just want you to look beyond the numbers and the highlights. That's all I ask. I beg.
Ryan, this game right here is about stringing together logical sentences to create a logical conclusion. This is about analysis. And right now, my friend, you're 0 for 11. Correct that. You're 1 for 11. Because today, a blind squirrel found a nut. We agree. Steph Curry should be the Finals MVP favorite. Max is wrong once again. Steph hasn't won it yet. You're right, Max. And 2 of the examples, or 2 of the reasons for that, is the name Kevin Durant, the last couple of NBA Finals MVPs. But this is his year. KD's going to be out. He's going to be out for at least a part of this series. This is the best team, the Warriors. This is the most likely winner. He is the best player on the best team. That makes him a very likely MVP winner. But that's all setting aside who he actually is as a player. I agree with you, Ryan. He is absolutely capable of taking over a game at any moment, including, for example, when we sit there and watch him struggle for 3 quarters and then explode for 23 in the 4th. This is the kind of stuff MVPs are made of. And this series is Steph's chance to prove to people like yourself, Max, his rightful place in the NBA hierarchy. He wrote a column for the Players Tribune this year. Do you know what the title of it was? Underrated. Because he is. Because he's a team player that buys into a system and was willing to take a backseat to Kevin Durant. But not this year. Not this finals. This one is his.
I actually love that point. And Ryan, I love your point. It's not, you're right. This is his chance to prove to guys like me, or to me, right? And I would say I am rooting for that to happen, just as I was rooting for it with Harden.
Are you?
Most often past his prologue, and I have my doubts. But I would love to be surprised and watch Steph, when his team needs him most, be the best version of himself, which he has not yet been in the finals for the Warriors. However, I do agree with you, Ryan. He will make the correct basketball play. And because the defensive attention has been focused on him, he has made some good contributions that go unnoticed by getting rid of the ball. It doesn't stick with him and doing many of the things that you claimed. I want to bring something else up, though, about Kawhi, who's having one of the great all-time any sport postseason runs so far. That's just on offense. Guys, fully half the game is defense. And we pay lip service to it, but do we believe it? Steph is a willing defender. It's not like he's like, I'm just not going to play lollygag. No, he's a willing defender. He just ain't built that way physically. Kawhi is in the argument for, like, when you talk about the greatest defenders who ever lived, you're going to mention Kawhi. So on offense, you can argue, well, he's not quite Steph, even though he seems to be more clutch on offense. But on defense, like, how much more is there? Kawhi is just different. And he's now, if he gets overlooked because the Warriors wind up winning the series, okay, you'll be right. I'll bet you even then, when you analyze it, he'll have had a better series than Steph.
Hey, Max, earlier you were guaranteeing that Toronto beats Golden State.
I'm not guaranteeing.
You were guaranteeing that. Okay, you favored them. You favored them.
I will reveal that
them
tomorrow.
So stop ducking.
I will reveal it tomorrow.
I have a feeling I know where it's leaning.
Okay.
I'm leaning in a certain direction.
Either way, I'm gonna ask you this, Max.
Yes.
Name one person that Kawhi Leonard makes better, because I'm not gonna argue he's defending, he's elite. Yo, he's special. He's in that greatest stuff. I agree with you. Who does he make better, though?
He's not a passer so far in his career. He does everything else, but he'll also make the correct pass. Can we see those stats again on offense, incidentally? Because let's not forget, Kawhi won a Finals MVP, and his team won the championship before he was in his prime for the defense he played on LeBron. Okay, so this postseason, where Steph Curry is proving all the doubters wrong, Kawhi's defense is not even, it's like laughable to compare them defensively, and Kawhi offensively is doing better than Steph.
But Max, to make that graphic
the
fair,
ball.
Max, I think to make that graphic fair, and I want to be fair here, and I think your defensive point is very strong, and I am in the camp that agrees with you. We can't just give lip service to the value of defense. And Kawhi Leonard undoubtedly is the best defender, and it should be factored into this equation. But you want to make that graphic fair, I truly think you need to put up the stats for Steph Curry over the last 4 games. Over the Portland Trailblazers series, and actually the last 5 games, and given the last game of the Rockets series as well. Since he took over, Max, since it truly became, again, his team, because that's what it will look like in this Raptors series. It will look like the Steph Curry team, the Steph Curry Warriors, against the Blazers, against the Rockets at the end of that series. It will be a Warriors team led by Steph, not him riding behind Kevin Durant. And the stats wouldn't look like the graphic you put up in that scenario.
Fair enough. And if he continues to do that when his team needs him most, not when it's lopsided, not when they can't lose, but when his team needs him most. This is kind of an even matchup, Steph. What you got in the finals. If he does that, then he will have proven exactly what you said. He has not yet done that in his career. I mean, it's not like he's a spring chicken. He hasn't done it yet.
Let me break this down to you. The one thing that Kawhi does best, he plays one-on-one basketball. He beats his matchup. When you guard Steph Curry, you need 5 guys to guard him. Because if you don't have all 5 who can switch out, guard the pick and roll, make plays, that's how his impact is bigger.
There's 4 minutes and 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter
of the
conference finals.
How many times Kawhi taken over a game? I mean, in the finals.